how can we use this to engage better with our stakeholders. There are several issues which I would like us to address in the discussion. So I want to bring them out here so that you're thinking about them, and then we'll get into them once we've heard from our resource person, who I'm sure many of you know. Do many of you know this gentleman? Yes. Basil, who is so well known from his work for Ticket Ghana and many other applications that he's involved with and startups that he's involved with. Very happy to have you with us here today, Basil. And I hope you'll introduce yourself and talk a little bit more about your work when we start. So what are the issues? One, there have been a few attempts to develop social media platforms by Ghanaians. Ghanaian social media platforms, it's not happening. Everybody is still on Facebook. Okay, one. Two, nobody knows what really is in what we call their toes. You know what your toes look like? Anybody know what your toes look like? Any toes showing? Toes are terms of engagement. The terms of engagement which you happily click, I agree. You know, when you get on Facebook or you're using any of those platforms, and you know basically you have no choice. If you want to use the platform, you've got to agree to their terms of engagement, and you have no recourse. You know, so most people don't know that there are the tools, we've known since we were babies, and now we have new tools which we should be bothering about. The third thing, of course, is related to the tools. What happens to your data? Basically, you're giving away a lot of information about yourself. And what I have found is it is impossible to close a LinkedIn account. I have tried it. I've sent messages to them, and I'm on so many online communities, and I hear this same problem. You want to get out, you can't get out. It's very difficult. And even if you do manage to get out, say you close your Facebook account, they still have all the access to your data. We're doing a lot of marketing online using these platforms. Is it really an option to look at a Ghanaian alternative? Does it make sense? And then the other set of issues are really because we are heading for elections, and some politicians believe that they can use these platforms to engage. What is the percentage of Ghanaians on the internet? Anybody? How many Ghanaians are on the internet? Pardon? That would make it about 5%, because we're 25. No, it's higher. How many Ghanaians on the internet? 12%. No, the last week we went for a workshop, and the latest analytics are showing about 20% of Ghanaians are accessing the internet, and most of them are using mobile internet. So they are accessing the internet on their mobile phones. And you know that we have a lot of special packages so that you can look at live Facebook on your mobile, all sorts of things. There are things happening. So if really we have 20% of Ghanaians who are on the internet, does it still mean that it's a good place for you to engage with your stakeholders, or it's going to be a very sort of, urban elite-oriented stakeholder engagement? These are some of the questions that we're going to be looking at after we've heard from Basil, who is going to talk to us from his perspective as being a very dynamic business person, somebody who is you have fingers and toes in many pies, isn't it, Basil? So let me give you the mic now, allow you to introduce yourself, give your presentation, and then we'll move to question and answer in a few minutes. Pardon? Okay.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Thank you very much for coming. Yes.
Okay, great. My name is Basil. I'm the CEO of Silky IT Production. Silky IT, we do websites, hosting, domain name registration, IT consultancy, and more SMS. I'm also the CEO of Ticket Ghana, which is in charge of event ticket printing, ultraviolet ticket degree, electronic ticketing, online social media marketing, and wristbands and tablet printing. I'm also the co-founder of Silky Entertainment, which most of you might have heard of, the Chicken and Beer Party, which is a product of Silky Entertainment, which was basically promoted via social media and other technology platforms. Okay, today we're going to be discussing harnessing the potential of social media to increase stakeholder engagement. But before that, I have a video I want to show all of you, which will kind of broaden your mind and get you into the mood I want all of us to be in before we discuss what social media is, and types of social media, what social network is, and how we can use it to help our day-to-day businesses that we have. media or via social media. Okay, so I believe that these facts do actually make some sense. Okay, I'll start by first of all explaining what social media is, because a lot of people kind of get confused what exactly it is. We can simply say social media are web and mobile-based software technologies which are used to send communication into interactive dialogue among organizations, communities, individuals, or we can simply say they are software that mediate human communication. Technical people, I'm sure most of you are technical because some of you go to school here. You can say it's a group of internet-based applications that are built on the technical foundation of the web and allow creation and exchange of user-created content. Now, most of us know social media as Facebook and all that, but what you don't know is that that is actually one type of social media. So what I want us to do is go into is see the different types of social media that we have. And we can see one is that we have social networking, which is the Facebook and MySpace, you know. We have wikis, which are websites that have articles that people publish stories, edit, and can delete their stories. We have web blogs, we have internet forums, we have ratings and opinion websites, we have video sharing websites such as YouTube, we have photo sharing websites such as Flickr, we have news aggregation websites which what they do is people they pick up news content from everywhere and share it to their community. We have online gaming websites and we have news. But what we want to look at today is more or less into social networking, because we want to see how social media can help our business. And in business, we know that networking is everything. So we're going to look at the type of social media, which is social networking, and see what we can do and use it as a marketing tool. So first of all, we know that social networking is an online service or platform or site that consists of representation of our profiles, and it facilitates social networks and social profiles. Okay, most of you might have heard
by a social media PR nightmare, when two employees uploaded video to YouTube of themselves violating pieces before serving them to unsuspecting customers. Within 24 hours, the video was gone viral. The second
we all have our secret ingredients. See? I think it's part of the store over there. There's some ingredients.
there. I know, right? Word quickly spread through Twitter, the sales dropped, as did Domino's stock prices. It took Domino's 3 days to begin responding to this PR crisis. For an online PR crisis especially, they were far too slow to react. They managed to have the offending video removed from YouTube, but of course the video had spread across the internet by that point. To explain themselves, Domino's launched a Twitter account and posted an online video response. Here's a part of it.
Hello, I'm Patrick Doyle, President of Domino's USA. Recently we discovered a video of two Domino's team members who thought that their acts would be a funny YouTube hoax. We sincerely apologize for this incident. This was an isolated incident in Conover, North Carolina, and we want to thank you for hanging in there with us as we work to regain your trust.
Domino's response to the video was painful and slow because they were not proactively monitoring social media. Monitoring social media to hear what is being said about your brand is a critical part of social media marketing. Unlike traditional media, where a message is transmitted to a recipient, social media should be exactly that: social, two-way communication. Following that social media disaster, Domino's saw a 6% drop in sales, but realised the potential of social media marketing and launched an online and offline integrated marketing campaign called the Pizza Turnaround late that year. Research was showing that Domino's pizzas are ranked as the worst tasting in several surveys and focus groups. A whole new pizza recipe was designed using maximum feedback from customers. The new recipe was launched with a large-scale social media campaign based around the pizzaturnaround.com microsite. This is a prime example of social media marketing as it crosses several social media channels, with customers encouraged to give unfiltered opinions of the new pizza on Facebook, YouTube and Twitter, with the Twitter stream running constantly on the microsite. The campaign heavily relied on YouTube, with a documentary of Domino's employees explaining how Domino's listened to its critics and changed its pizza recipes for better, as well as uploading videos pizza turnaround featured in the media. The campaign aimed at transparency, with public third-party reviews sought from previously negative bloggers, as well as TV personalities live on air. Domino's also held case stats across the country, all broadcast on YouTube. This campaign was very transparent, which gave Domino's great credibility to strengthen their damaged brand. They faced the negative issue of their bad-tasting pizza, openly, head-on, and with two-way communication. The pizza turnaround campaign was a sales hit, increasing sales by double digits and leaving stock values increasing almost 50% in 3 months. Domino's have run another social media campaign recently by erecting a 4,630 square foot digital billboard in the middle of New York Times Square, displaying unbiased customer comments from Twitter to thousands of people. It seems as if Domino's not only redeemed themselves from their social media nightmare in 2009, but now use social media as a major strength for their company, adding value to their brand through transparency and two-way communication. Enjoy your pizza lag.
Okay, so I think the message is clear. Don't wait for your company to become like Domino's Pizza. Don't wait to get attacked via social media negatively before you wake up to realize the potential that people are using it for. You need to find out what's going on online, what people are saying about your brand, and then you need to also have your presence so that you wouldn't get caught up in the Domino's Pizza saga. Okay, so before I wrap up, I'd just like to stress on a couple of tips which I have, which is, one is, don't talk at your audience, talk to them, which is a common mistake I personally make myself, and I'm working on trying not to. It's not to talk at my audience. I need to talk with them. Like I said before, let's engage in conversations with them. Let's interact with them. Let's find out what they like. Let's give them what they want. At the same time, try and sell our stuff to them. But don't make it always about money, and don't make it so direct that they feel like you're just commanding them or you're just telling them what to do. Make available incentives to keep people promoting you and your brand. I think I've already stressed on that, so I'm just repeating that again, that you make available incentives to keep people promoting you and your brand. When you're responding to people, be honest and be real, because they are real people. Don't forget that. When people write messages on your Facebook, don't just give them predefined answers that you've already written somewhere in your notepad. Interact with them. Give them real answers, because they are real people that are talking to you. And like I said earlier on, and I'll say it again, photos work better than text. And a combination is the best. So before I leave, I believe that if you're not your business is not on social media, by now you've seen the potential it has. If it can have a negative impact, then you can imagine the great prospects it has positively. It's much better than traditional. And we've just proved that social media marketing is much cheaper and much better to use than traditional media marketing. So when you leave here, please get a Facebook account, create a fan page for your business, create a presence for it, brand it well, get a Twitter account, get a LinkedIn account, get a YouTube account. I'm not saying get all, but depending on the business you are in, you're going to find that one, all, or some of them together will work better for you. And I know YouTube is something that you need to have. Because like I have, in my personal way, I think YouTube is the biggest television ever to hit the world. There's, the statistics show that every 5 minutes, 100 hours of video are uploaded on YouTube. And there's no TV station which has that amount of hours every 5 minutes. So you can imagine that. I'd like to thank all of you for coming. I'd like to stress on the fact that social media is a very big revolutionary shift in the way we communicate. And ask yourself when you leave it, are you ready for this big revolutionary shift? Or ask others who call it, are you ready for the customer shift? Because the customers are moving and are looking towards the companies who have a presence on social media. So don't be left behind in the customer shift. Get your personal and business profile on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, etc. today. Open a YouTube account and start uploading your videos and commercials today. And I have a golden rule which is key in this social media business. After creating all of this, it's not when you use it, it's how often and how well you use it. So just don't go and create it and leave it dormant because you're not finding time to use it. Make time to use it. Make time to engage with your customers. Make time to grow your audience. And use it often and use it very well. That's all I have to say today about social media. I hope you've learned a lot. And I hope it is going to make a change in your life.
I think he really deserves a great round of applause. By the way, I don't agree with everything that Basil said. We are now going to move to the discussion phase. We'll invite Maximus to join us up here. We're throwing it open. So can I see some initial hands? People who have questions? Yes? Is that Mr. Norte? Oh, I see who it is. Yes. So one question, I'd like to take 3 questions so that we can have a bit of discussion around them. Yes? Why don't you join him in the front? Anybody else? This side is very quiet. Middle, very quiet. Is there anybody I'm missing? No? This side now? Okay, so only 2 people want to ask questions. Please go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Joseph Magogus. I work with the Key Study Foundation and an online office institution. My question is that for the sort of work I do, IT manager, website developer, trying to convince your executive members, senior management, to use social media, they see it as a time waster and a place to like, they tell you that we have a website, what's what we need? How would you go about that in the workplace? As in trying to convince senior management. One suggestion I have is that maybe take senior management on a day out to train them to use social media themselves and maybe I but on the one hand, I can do that all by myself. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. My name is Nurudina Al-Hassan and I represent the Ghana Muslim Academy, which is a Muslim civil society organization in Ghana. And for me, I think I have to admit the fact that we are underutilizing the social media. And I'm very happy with the presentation. And personally, I've learned a lot. The challenge for me has to do with issues of legislation which within the context of freedom of expression and the negative use of social media to create social upheaval in our society. And a typical example is what happened in the US recently when it has to do with an amateur film which was on YouTube, which created a lot of pandemonium in the Arab and Muslim world. What are our legislators doing? Should we say that it's an open society, therefore we shouldn't have legislation to regulate some of these tendencies that can affect the social cohesion of our country? Thank you very much.
I think that was 2 very good questions. I'm sure they've spawned other people to start thinking. Is there anybody in the audience who wants to respond to those questions? Anybody in the audience with views on those questions? No? You're a very quiet audience. Is this the case? Oh, good. Would you like to respond or you have a question? Okay, why don't you give him the mic? Prince, you would like to respond.
Yes. Thank you. I want to speak to the issue of the social media for senior management. I am also a programs manager for the Human Rights Advocacy Center. And what I would suggest is that I think that I don't know how the issue of social media is brought forth to the senior management of the company. But I'm sure that it should be done in a slow process, and it should be done in a manner which, as was advised, that it should be done in a way probably of a start of something smaller and raise an amount of something that you can show to the management that this is what has happened. Bring proof to them. For instance, in my organization, we weren't using Facebook, but for some of us, we used it as we have interns and volunteers that we run in our organization. So we formed as a group for interns and volunteers, and we're on Facebook, and we're running comments, exchanging things, and then we started growing and growing, and people started getting to know about our internship programs. Now we have over 10 of people who want to do internship with us, because we have interns who talk about how good our internship programs are. That is what we use to leverage to talk to our executive director, who said, okay, then we can send more messages out to people of what we're doing. Then we started Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter. So I would suggest that if there's a particular part of the organization that does not really need suggestion or approval of management, they can start from there, and then they can show the proof of what they can do with social media to management. I'm sure such people believe in statistics and figures and all that. So if you're able to show them those things, then they would agree with you and go on.
Nice. That was a nice answer. Anybody want to handle the more problematic question we have? Yes, gentleman over there.
Thank you so much. My name is Annan. I will try attempt to handle the second gentleman's question. If you look at the social media and what we call the cyberspace or cyber world, is actually a particular industry that Ghana is not well equipped to handle at the moment. If you look at India, I have my education background somehow in India, and I'm into IT too. We have the Indian IT Law 2000, and which takes its basis from a United Nations General Approved Law called the Universal Law. So we have a challenge so far as in Africa. Actually, Ghana is not the only country that has no regulation regarding the practices of the usage of the cyberspace. It's a challenge now. I think we need to actually champion the cause to actually see a recognition, taking the basis from the Universal Law that has been approved by United Nations, so that we could as well have our own IT law that will regulate the activities of all internet users or cyberspace users in the country. So I think in Africa, it's not so much when it comes to the legality, because when you look at the cyber world, it has nothing to do with the geographical location of the individual. You can be here in Ghana and you must have business with somebody in America or in Kenya or whatever. However, the laws in Ghana cannot actually be applicable. So far as the person is also in Kenya, that person might also wish to apply the Kenyan law. So that at that particular point, the question is, which law are you going to apply? So there has actually been a problem. I think that was what actually informed the Universal Law that has been approved and adopted by some countries, of which I know China, America, and India are one of those countries that adopted it. So maybe the new IT educators or the new IT people who want to champion this cause, I think this is the time for us to advocate for a regulation of the IT at law in Ghana. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm so happy we have somebody from the police service here. And then I think Annan will speak to the gentleman in the Batagami first. And then can we call on you to comment on cyber law? Will you comment? Okay, you will comment. Yes or no?
Good evening. My name is say, get with the program and get to know what is actually happening. Because if you only just look at, the shops, the physical aspects of, trade and industry, then you actually realize that those of us who are above the 44 age group, we realize that it's like an iceberg where most of what is going on is submerged. What I wanted to talk about was actually this, what Annan is doing. This interesting topic, which I think is just really, brought up. I was at a lecture just very recently given by, I think Dr. Kofi also said something, and he was talking about the fact that in Ghana here, even the regulation regarding radio, these phone-ins and that, he did mention that the former minister now, by the president, did actually try at one time bringing in a legislation such that there will be this 3-second delay in broadcasting. And apparently it didn't get through because it met with a stiff resistance. So the problem is if we can't even get that simple measure, which is there to prevent people just coming on air and with insults and libelous or is it scandal or libel? What is it? You have football. Scandalous and libelous comments about people. We actually have a problem with that because really, if we just take the medium of media is media. So if we take the medium of radio, we're having a problem there. And a lot of what goes on is actually it should be regulated. And if and it's easier to regulate that one. It's all within the country. But as one of the contributors said, as soon as you talk about the internet, you're in the cyberspace. And it's very difficult to actually regulate or identify and pin down and say, don't do this. If you can regulate in one country, a person can publish in another country. And so you still end up with the same thing. And if somebody puts up some scandalous or whatever in America, and they could even stop it, then they move to New Zealand. And it can still be accessed from Ghana or anywhere else. But I do think that there should be something. In this particular case, I understand that the US government did actually write to, they communicated to YouTube for them to take that video off. And YouTube actually replied to the US government that they would not, because it did not break any of that is YouTube's regulations. So America is a very open society, very free.
Actually, the problem was, you're absolutely right, but the problem was it also didn't break any US laws. You see? So they were asking them to do it, but it was not backed by any legislation.
So the point is that, so if we are going to talk about this and regulate it, then it has to be an international thing, rather than any particular country like Ghana, for instance, say, want to do that. But I want to say that is a negative, the negative aspects of let's say, the internet. But like everything else, it can be used for good and for bad. And I want to then just end by adding my voice to the fact that I do believe that any company which really wants to market their products in this 21st century, this day and age, definitely has to, really look at the social, social Facebooks and LinkedIn and whatever.
Social media.
The social media, because somebody mentioned it. If you got some CEOs or some senior executives who are still out of touch, eventually they will be eclipsed by the up and coming, the young techs, as they say. So that's why I don't want to add that even though there's the negative aspects, I think we should also focus on the positive aspects. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I just have to do a comment. Yes, just pass him the mic, please.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Chief Superintendent David the group. Social media and the revolution that is happening in the technical space is a big challenge, especially to law enforcement, to police. For example, a lot of the police officers were trained using the traditional media.
In fact, well, if I take the kind of attack, I did say to my friends that I will not change my bid for the presidency for the 2020. No.
And social media will be a big part.
I'm going to use social media.
Yes.
So that, for instance, I don't need so much money to do the campaign. By 2020, the percentages which Basil has brought will be nearer the 90s and 100s. I'm taking over. And so the older people have to, if you don't get, as I said, with the program, you're out. If you take it on the political level, because of course politics is the same as the other marketing which we're talking about. In the sense of politics, we are marketing human beings. And, as you see in America, they market a president in the same way as they market babies. They use the same techniques. So whatever applies to the commercial world also applies equally to politics. And if you actually look at the, when you say those people, the political leaders, that is the presidential candidates, we have Annan who's over 60, more than 50. Yet he has a website. He has a website. And we had Annan later time who was also there. Now, of course, John Hammer is younger and he's very clear that is. But the point is that they both got websites and they are both on Facebook. Well, sorry, I don't know about John Hammer, but I'm sure he will be. Yeah. Because Akufo-Addo is on Facebook all over the place.
Nana Konegu has a lot of followers on
She's also on Facebook. Yes, she's also on Facebook. Indo, Park Indo is also on Facebook. If you look at the photograph, which we take home every day, and I don't know, it is huge. About Africa, every single day. Now I've been in Parliament now only for, let's say, 3.5 years. And I've got, what can we do? And it is all, every report, every document, every MP has to get it. And what the lecturer is saying is, well, we should be, we should have, terminals or whatever it is. Even dump terminal or whatever. Such that we can get access to it instantly. The photocopy room at Parliament is always busy copying all the papers, copying this, copying. And I don't know how many trees have been cut down.
Oh, yeah. Have protests from those people who have to leave on time. So,
okay. Right, now I was just saying that I think 100% with this thing, but if we can have that, then the second thing can also happen. I don't know whether you watching the TV the other day, this voting where we stand up and count this thing, the whole thing is supposed to be electronic. Press a button, and it's like who wants to be a millionaire? You see the thing, and then eyes and nose finished. So sorry for keeping you, but
let's just hear.
And in business, everybody looks at their money first. I believe we should try and draw up some analysis which will show them cost analysis and profitability of marketing via social media, and to also give them examples of peer companies and colleagues in other parts of the world who are using this media. I brought this digester to show you that. I bought it 3 days ago, and I found an ad that says find us on Facebook. And I'm sure if you show this to some unbelievers, I'm sure if you show it to some unbelieving people, I mean, the fact that bigger people are using it, it should help in convincing them. The discussion we just had right now made me see a couple of topics that I'm thinking that one day we should look at. I'm thinking one is how to grow your social media following. I'm thinking another one is how to develop content for your social media. I'm thinking another one is how to monitor and respond to the interactivity in your social media, how to know when people are watching, and ultimately how to make money from it. So I'm going to attack the AI because everybody keeps asking questions and we keep talking back to each other. We can't find who is going to solve this problem to us. And since they are into technology and they are well respected in the Ghanaian community, I'm going to task Madam DG to find a way whereby we can address this. Let's call the stakeholders, the big people, and then let's twist their arms and let's let them do and follow the path that we're trying to move towards. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And thank all of you for coming. Of course, we will rise to this challenge. And I'm sure some of you will attend those seminars where we go into a bit more depth around this topic. So I hope, is Nana also in the room? Nana, what is the next technology transformation seminar on? If you can announce it.
It's on e-procurement. It's about creating opportunities from the e-procurement business. We know now that e-procurement is something that the PBA has launched. So in partnership with the PBA, we're going to have a seminar on e-procurement.